Does it say it's connected?
No, but go ahead.
Well, we're going to try to get everything connected here, and you'll find out very shortly. But this is Conversations at the Helm, and we're doing Beaufort Ban the Bag this week. Ban the bag in Beaufort and beyond. And we're trying to get rid of ocean plastics, a very serious topic, and we're going to try to have a little fun with a very serious topic. We talked to some wonderful people this week, and we're going to be talking to you when we open the phones up, but we got some great interviews to show you, some great videos to show you, but first we got to show you this opening for the show. Let her roll.
First of all, plastic pollution, people need to realize, first of all, this is a big problem. It's a global problem. It's something that we're seeing a huge impact, not just here in the States, but around the world. Here in this
Because I haven't turned my microphone back on. Okay. Hey, this is live television, and that's what's the advantages of this, is that we have to play it by ear, and we have to get things working. So, this week, we are doing Conversations at the Helm, and we're going to be talking about Beaufort Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond. I founded the damn organization. I should be able to say the name correctly, but I just can't seem to do that. What is Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond? It is an effort to get people to take personal responsibility to decide to get rid of single-use plastics in their life. And it is a lifestyle decision. When you go to the food store, or I should say, when you go to the restaurants, or you go to the supermarket, or you go to any of these places, they're forcing single-use plastic down your throat. Subway just changed their projects, and they're now not using that single-use plastic bag to put their bags in, or put their sandwiches in, but so many places still are. That also includes the clamshell containers, the styrofoam things. It includes plastic cups. It includes those wonderful, beloved red Solo cups. It includes everything. And then guess what? You can't recycle yogurt containers. Did you know that? It is a special polyextruded thing, and you can't recycle that. So there's all kinds of different products out there. In fact, I was on Facebook just this past week, and guess what I saw? I saw a Yoplait container that was made in 1976. You know who else was made in 1976? This guy. I was made in 1976, and that yogurt container looked a hell of a lot better than I do. And I really resent that, because that should not be in the ocean, and it should be dead by now, but it's not, and it's going to outlive me by at least 1,000 years. And that's the problem. And we've got some really great people coming up today. We were out talking to Black Sheep today, and they have become a green business. They are doing all kinds of good things to be ecologically friendly. They are a plastic-free business. And so we went over there and we were talking to them. We also were talking to the waterkeeper, and you saw a little bit of a blurb about the waterkeeper up there. We've had a little technical ditch, but hey, whatever. We're going to show his entire interview. That's coming up in a little bit as well. But first up, we have a really interesting video that we pulled down from BBC, and we're going to live stream it through its website. And this video is going to show you, I think, some of the real issues that are going on. And it's really not a cool thing when you see people swimming through the ocean and there is so much trash on the floor that they can't even see the sand. And that's what you're going to see in this video coming up. So let's run that video, and then we'll come back to me a little bit, and then I have a very special video I want you to see. Oh, I'm getting the stink eye from the board up here. Let me ask permission. Hold on one sec. But what we're going to do is we're going to show the BBC video with your permission, Admiral, and then we will then show the support Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond. So I cut together a bunch of videos today. I'm driving her crazy. I love my wife. She's not feeling real well right now. She's got a sore throat. She's, a little fevery, but she came in today, and so I don't want to irritate her any more than I have to. So bear with me, folks. We're gonna get through this thing together. But first up, let's watch that BBC video and let's get an idea about the true nature of the problem we're talking about here. Roll the tape, if you would. And we're back. That is a piece put out by the BBC, and it's just a diving under the ground, and it is really a nasty thing to see all of that garbage, floating down around there. And that's what it looks like in a lot of places. I dare say there's places even here on the Crystal Coast where we live, at the crossroads of the North Atlantic, right off the Riviera of the South, Morehead City, where we're broadcasting from, and there are places out there that look like that. There used to be places where I lived up in Bridgeport. It totally looked like that all over the place. And the sad part about it was, you clean it up, I'd have 50, 60 people out there picking up garbage, and it would be back within a week. And the problem is, it's the plastics. It's not necessarily the cans, although they're gross, and the glass, that's not cool. But the plastics are absolutely the most horrible thing. They break down, they turn into tiny little bits, and they become absolutely hazardous. The waterkeeper, Larry Baldwin, is going to be speaking about that, so I don't want to steal his thunder. He's going to explain to you why it's so noxious. And I have to put a big apology right now at the beginning of the hour. Things did not work out as well as they would have this week. I totally screwed up the audio. We met with the folks at the aquarium, North Carolina Aquarium at Pine Knoll Shores. They were really nice. They gave me a great interview, and when I played it, I realized the 4 million screaming kids that were running in the interview, they just drowned out the whole thing, and it was not a good interview. So I'm sorry to the folks over there at the aquarium, but I couldn't run that interview tonight. But I did get some nice footage of the turtle that I took while it's there, and that's worked into one of the videos that we have up for tonight. But I'm sorry, I did not get the aquarium video interview up for this week, but we really knocked it out of the park with the waterkeeper, and we also hit it really well with black sheep. So we're going to be talking a little bit more. But right now, let me check with the board op. Do we have time to run the... We're going to run the next little piece. And this one, I'm going to ask you to pay attention, because we are Ban the Bag in Beaufort, as well as the Charted Life Television, and we are trying to get people to take responsibility for their actions when it comes to using single-use plastics. And that's what this next video is all about. Please, if you can help us out by giving us a couple of bucks, you can go to our website, www.thechartedlife.net/Ban the Bag in Beaufort. You can make a contribution this hour, and if you do make a contribution this hour, we will give you one of these Ban the Bag stickers, okay? If you have 2 cars, we'll give you 2 of them. It's $10 minimum gets one of these. If you give us $20, you get you 2 of these. If you give us $100, you get 2 of these and one great big one of these, because I'm going to give you a great big hug and a kiss on the cheek, because we need your help. So Ban the Bag in Beaufort, contribute what you can. Jennifer, roll the tape.
5:39, time for other news stories that are maybe going to shock you into life on this hump day. An American diver broke the record for deepest submarine dive ever. He says he found new species and plastic bags and candy wrappers. One of those plastic bags was just lying on the ocean floor 7 miles down.
As we drag our bins out for collection, it makes us feel like we're helping the environment. But there's a problem. We're being conned.
Temporary closure of Boracay, which has been called a cesspool, and disturbing videos and images of plastic-filled Bali have been emerging after authorities declared a garbage emergency.
It's an atrocity that even the most remote places on our planet are now filled with the testimony of our filthy habits.
The plastic pollution problem seems to be a never-ending problem with no solution. But the truth of the matter is it's a matter of public knowledge that when we get together as a human people, we can do amazing things. We are proposing, with Ban the Bag in Beaufort, that we work together as a community, as a people, to ban our world of these problems by taking responsibility for these problems. We propose that by working together as a community, we can take personal responsibility for this problem and stop using these products at the source of them, where we use them and consume them, and instead convince our business community and our political leaders that they don't have to take action because we will do it for them. It is our hope that by raising awareness of this problem in our local and state and national community, we can convince people to refuse these usage of these products so that when they come to the store or they go to the restaurants or they go wherever they may be in their daily life and they see plastics, they may choose an alternative. And by reducing the demand for these products, we hope we might convince the world that we no longer need these products. Not so long ago, America was faced with the idea that they were going to have to give up tuna. It seemed that tuna nets were incapable of deciphering between tuna and dolphin, and thousands of dolphin were being killed every year in the pursuit of that tuna fish sandwich. Americans couldn't live for themselves, and so they went to the store and they stopped buying tuna. The tuna industry very quickly decided that they had to change their practices, and it was very soon thereafter that dolphin-safe tuna was brought to the market and the dolphin population rebounded. That is the mechanism we're hoping we can tap into to get plastics removed from our lexicon. By reducing and eliminating consumer demand for plastics, we will have a massive effect on the economic base of these products and thereby reducing the use of these products and the supporting industries that make these products available to us. We can change America just by refusing usage of these products in our homes, and it is our hope that Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond will convince you to stop using single-use plastics in your home so that we may have a global effect. You can help this effort in any number of ways, by refusing styrofoam containers, or simply changing the way that you do business as a small business owner. All of these efforts are appreciated and needed, but we also ask that you help support our efforts financially. And you can send your contributions to Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond, care of The Charted Life, 209 North 35th Street, Morehead City, North Carolina. Thank you so much for all that you do, and God bless our planet.
Hey, welcome to Alaska Local Music. I'm here. I'm Lance here with Chris Talley.
How's it going, Lance?
What's going on?
What are you into? And he's like, I'm actually a rapper. And I was like, oh snap, that's dope because
Yeah, I've seen that whole thing.
You know, I guess.
It's great to have someone that supports you and be behind you.
Oh yeah. Yep, exactly.
What does plastic pollution mean to the Crystal Coast?
First of all, plastic pollution, people need to realize, first of all, this is a big problem. It's a global problem. It's something that we're seeing a huge impact, not just here in the States, but around the world. Here in this country, we are one of the largest producers of plastic, and also the ones who throw a lot of plastic away. So it is a global issue, but we bring it down to the Crystal Coast. And it's also a big issue here as well, too. And we need to bring it down to being a very personal issue as to what is it that I'm doing as an individual, or not doing, that can help in regard to the plastics in our water. Now, we use the term plastics in the water in a very broad sense, but there's a lot of different ways and different types of that plastic in the water. We have a tendency to think, first of all, plastic bottles. And they are everywhere. They're just everywhere. That's the best way to put it. So we think of plastic bottles, and we'll think about plastic wrappers of this sort. But it's also things like fishing line that is part of this plastic problem. Plastics, whatever form they start in, they don't particularly break down, but they break apart. So they continually break apart into smaller and smaller pieces, until we get to what's called a microplastic. And a microplastic is a very tiny piece of plastic that is easily ingested by pretty much every aquatic animal that's out there, and land-based animals as well too. But we have that problem more specifically to the sea life, the aquatic animals, either getting entangled in the plastic, if it's the case of the fishing line, or ingesting these microplastics. And when we talk about microplastics, that issue goes even a little further in that these microbeads, or microplastics as they're referred to, when they're in the water, are attracting toxins. So they're actually absorbing toxins into the small pieces of plastic, which are then ingested. So now those toxins are now in the fish or in the other aquatic life that's out there. And you take that and you look at the food chain. Well, where does that go? If you have even krill or shrimp that are ingesting microplastics and ingesting that toxin, they're fed upon by a larger species, and it goes all the way up the food chain until eventually it gets to us. So we are actually ingesting a lot of plastics that we don't even know about. We're not even aware of, because it's in this microplastic form. And in the process, also the toxins. So it really is an issue that we here at Crystal Coast Waterkeeper are getting more and more involved with all the time. It's important, yes, for people to say no straws. And we get people having different reactions to that. Well, what's the big deal about a straw? And one of the lines for that is, what's the big difference, or what's the big deal about plastic straws, said 8 billion people.
Yeah.
So when you start to look at it and really, and then think about your own daily usage, okay? We're actually in most restaurants, and Rebecca's going to talk about some of that, I'm sure, in a minute as well, you get a straw automatically, whether you ask for it or not. And we've even had instances where you say, I don't want a straw, and they almost don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to change that culture. But the straws have really become kind of the poster child, or the rallying point, to illustrating how much is really out there. But you can look at straws, you can look at the plastics that we've talked about here. It's so much ingrained in our everyday life. And it is, we'll be the first to admit, it's difficult to go plastic free.
Yeah.
In some ways, if you look at plastic as a whole, it's almost impossible. If you look at your automobile, how much of that car is made of plastic? So I don't think that we will ever get to a point where we are completely plastic free. The areas that we're trying to focus on are like the single-use plastics. And again, you're talking about the plastic wrappers. It's used one time, and it either ends up in a landfill or it ends up in the water, and that's it. So now it's got thousands of years to break apart and really become a problem. So when we look at it here at Crystal Coast, this is pretty much where we have to start. We have to start at home. Now, we are involved with several larger organizations here in the state and in the country. One of those being Plastic Ocean Project in Wilmington. Waterkeeper Alliance, who licenses us to be the Crystal Coast Waterkeeper. We're doing some plastics work with them as well, too. But it really has to start at home. And understanding it's going to be a lifestyle change. We're not asking you to give up plastic completely. You've got the old reuse, recycle. We've got to really start to get serious about what happens before we get to a recycle or reuse. Don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
If you go to the supermarket, everything is wrapped in plastic. You have vegetables and products, produce, that are wrapped in plastic that don't need to be wrapped in plastic. It's a convenience thing. That's a single-use plastic. Take your own grocery bags to the store. One of the other kind of rallying points are plastic bags, like you would get from the food store or the big box stores. We don't want to call them out by name, but we all know who they are. If you think about visually what that plastic bag looks like floating in the water, it's pretty easy to visualize what an aquatic species, like a turtle or a dolphin, porpoise, whatever, what they see. Wow, that looks like food.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, they're ingesting even the smaller pieces because it looks edible. And when we hear reports of birds, fish, even mammals being caught or picked up once they've died, their stomachs opened up and full of plastic to the point where their system is saying, I'm full, I can't eat anything else. But there's nothing nutritionally there for them. And their bodies can't get rid of it. So there's really just so many different aspects to this. But it all comes down to what can we do? And it's not only a matter of what can we do, it's what we have to do. We have to change our mindset. This is a mindset thing. Plastics are a convenience. Okay? You go to the fast food restaurant, you get a plastic cup for your drink. Can you change that approach and say, well, can I just get this in my own cup? Now, a lot of restaurants aren't always real sure if they can do that or not.
Yeah.
But it's something to ask about. But you've got to start at home, okay? And realize that if you go fishing and this is what you leave behind, it's not good for the environment. It's not good for the animals that are out there. So our focus is kind of multifaceted. We are doing educational work, which is Rebecca's area of expertise. But we're also helping with the actual research. These microplastic trawls that we refer to actually take these out into the water systems and pull them through the water, collect the microplastics, have them analyzed. We're developing a project which we won't only just do that here, but we have 14 waterkeepers across the state of North Carolina that have all said, I want to know what's in my river. I want to know what's in my watershed. So we're going to start using this equipment to go around the state. And then that will actually go back to Plastic Ocean Project, to their lab, where they will kind of break it down to see what all is in there. And then also analyze for whatever toxins may be present. This is a huge issue. There have been estimates that by the year 2050, there will be more plastic pollution in the ocean by mass than there will be fish. That's huge. And just recently, there was a deep sea trip made to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in our oceans. And what did they find? Plastic bottles at the bottom of the ocean. We have one of our board of directors who's a sailor, and he's been in the Bahamas. He said, it's incredible. You think of the Bahamas as this pristine place, and you've got trash. Well, guess what? You go right here on Atlantic Beach and find that kind of trash. We do cleanups on the beach, we do cleanups on the sounds, on the rivers, and you do that, and you come back with thousands of pounds of trash. The really sad and frustrating part is that we can go back again the next week and almost have the same amount. What is it that we say, okay, I'm done with this plastic bottle, I'm just going to throw it out the window. And maybe it's just because of the work that we do. It just doesn't make any sense to me. At least put it in a place where it has a chance of being properly disposed of. But when we talk about these cleanups, if you look at the overall volume of what we pick up, a lot of it is trash, but the majority of what we get is plastic of some form. And then, we can talk about cigarette butts till we're blue in the face, but it really is, to me, it's a crisis level at this point. That we're at a real tipping point where we're going to see a major impact to our commercial fishing industry. Because they're going to be bringing back in fish that may or may not even be suitable for consumption because of the amount of plastics and trash and toxins that is picking up as part of their daily life cycle. So we cannot separate ourselves as individuals from this problem. We just can't. So that's where we're coming from Crystal Coast Waterkeeper perspective. From the educational side, from the scientific side, from, we're hoping to even get to the point where we can get our legislators to maybe ban some bags. Okay? The plastic bags, we talked about that. On the Outer Banks, they actually had a ban on plastic bags that the legislature overturned and turned it around. What the heck are we thinking?
Florida just did that last week.
What the heck are we thinking?
Yeah.
We've got a ban. The grocery stores and other stores on the Outer Banks were in favor of not having plastic bags.
Right.
But our legislators turn around and say, well, no, we don't like that, so we're going back. There's a real reason for that. And again, it's money. Okay? Somebody's making a lot of money off selling plastic bags. And we can touch on it real briefly. I know it's not the focus of this program, but where does plastic come from? It comes from petroleum products. So this plastic use issue is now an oil industry issue because of the amount of oil that is being used to make plastic products. So when you look at lobbying efforts, and I can't say that I followed the money specifically, but it's all interwoven. And one of the issues that we're fighting here at Crystal Coast Waterkeeper as well is the plan by the current administration to open up the coast for seismic blasting and offshore drilling. Okay, that's not going to help us when we even look at it from the plastics issue, because that petroleum products are going to be used in part to make more plastic. Yeah. It's really, and I'll go back to the same statement again, it's a crisis. I firmly believe it's a crisis. One of the things that I or we cannot do is sit here and say we've got it all right, because we don't. And a lot of that is it's tough to get it right all the time. When you look at the opportunity of, well, can I use a reusable bag or do I take my own? Well, I went to the store, shoot, I forgot to bring my bag, so I've got to take one of theirs. So we're not saying that we're perfect, but we're certainly working very hard, personally, as an organization, in the community, statewide and even national, to try to help get this plastics issue elevated to the point where we can start to make some differences.
Hey there, I'm Angus McShively for the Charted Life Television Network, and you should be advertising on this channel because it comes from wild places of Eastern Carolina. We've got crocodiles here, we've got alligators here, we've got sharks here, and we got bull that'll eat your face off, mate. So you should be taking the adventure that we provide for you here on the Charted Life Television Network with a big shrimp on the barbie and a cold Foster's. The Charted Life Television is all about adventure and crazy things like that. If you live in a bus, or you live in a boat, or you live in an airstream, or you travel the world and you do all kinds of good stuff, we want to know about it at the Charted Life Television Network. So, if you want to advertise with the outfit, I suggest you call immediately at 252-617-3792. Listen, so what are you doing right now? Crikey, you should be calling in 252-617-3792. This is the Charted Life Television Network, and we are going out all around the world. Give us a call now. Yip, yip. Hey, we're back. This is Conversations at the Helm. I'm Captain Christopher German, broadcasting live from the Riviera of the South, Morehead City. And we have all kinds of stuff left to do for the day, but you've already passed the first half hour, and I hope you enjoyed that. Those folks that for that interview that couldn't hear, we heard from Jason out there at Cape Lookout. He's anchored in his boat, and he's watching the Charted Life TV. Thank you so much for watching, Jason, and I'm really sorry about the sound on that interview. It was a really incredible interview for those of you that could hear it. And if you couldn't hear it, I'm going to put it through the mix here, and I'll rebroadcast it again. Probably you'll just put it up on our page and share it with the world with a enhanced sound on it. So we'll see if we can improve that. But thank you so much to Larry, the waterkeeper. He was such a great guy. You got to get down there if you need your signs for plastic, or the oil rigging. If you want to support that, he's got signs to put in your front yard to ban that, and let's keep that stuff away from our coast. Because quite frankly, that's what this is all about. You know, why do they want to drill out there offshore? Because they need more petroleum. Why do they need more petroleum? Because we use all these single-use plastics that they make from it. If we don't use the single-use plastics, if we don't have the single-use plastics, we don't need to do the oil exploration. It's that simple. So Larry had a great point about the plastics breaking down into the microplastics, and the microplastics collect toxins. The toxins get eaten by the fish on the microplastics, and guess what? Your shrimp burger is filled with a side of PCB. That's exactly what we're talking about here. We're killing ourselves, folks. These plastics are absolutely killing us. We're getting all kinds of chemicals into our system. Can you honestly say when you eat a clam or a oyster on the half shell that you do not know whether it's got some kind of chemicals in it anymore, because you can't taste them. You don't know if they're in there. These are trace elements that are being bombarded into these animals. They're bioaccumulation, and they're getting ingested by humans. That is what this plastic pollution problem is all about. So we're all about banning the bag, which starts with the bag. It also starts with the straw. But ban the straw in Beaufort didn't make a lot of sense, did it? No. So it's ban the bag in Beaufort and beyond. Ban the bag worldwide. And I'm going to ask Jennifer, stick that donation link up there if you would, please, because we need your help. We're trying to spread the word about this, and we've got a television station now to do it. And so we got a really loud speaker. And we're talking to people all the way around the world. You saw that video earlier about the pounds of pollution or the piles of trash in Bali and in Mali and all these other places like that. Yeah, we're sending our junk over there and it's washing back up on our beaches. That's what's happening, folks. So it's not about recycling, and it's not about reducing, and it's not about reusing anymore. It's about refusing. Refuse the plastic, the fourth R. And if you refuse this stuff, you'll kill the economic viability behind it. Coca-Cola's not going to keep selling products if people don't want to buy their products because it always comes with a straw. So Coke gets on board, and Coke says, okay, we're going to help ban these plastic straws because we don't want our product being sucked through that stuff anymore. And that brings me to our next interview that we did. We talked to some businesses. We actually, I had the opportunity to go over to Subtropic over there in Atlantic Beach yesterday, I guess it was, after I finished up with Larry over there at the Waterkeeper's office. They were going over, and Rebecca was going over there to honor a gentleman and his family who are running the sub shop, the Subtropic Sub Shop, and they are now considered a ocean-friendly restaurant. And they got 5 stars because they're doing everything right. They don't use plastic straws. They don't use styrofoam containers. They don't use all these other things that are going to be messing up the environment. And so they were recognized for that. And this other business that we're talking to, Black Sheep, they're going to be coming up in a couple of minutes, they did the same thing. And they got their recognition through Plastic Ocean Project down in Wilmington. We love them. I probably should have gotten them to call in. If anybody was listening with the Plastic Ocean Project, please give us a call and we will get you on and you can talk to us and be part of this effort because it's a communal effort. It's everybody working together. All those folks on Ban the Bag that are looking what they can do to help, share these things, share these videos. Let's get people to raise awareness. Let's get people to commit to being plastic free. Now, we're never going to get rid of all plastics, but we will get rid of the single-use plastics. That's the forks and the knives and the cutlery. That's the Solo cups. That's the yogurt containers. That's the sandwich bags. That's the cling wraps. That's the, all the other plastic bottles. The plastic water bottles, the ubiquitous plastic water bottle. Everybody had a fit when they said, oh, I have to now buy water. Oh, did they know they were going to be poisoning the next 10 generations of people with these plastic water bottles? Maybe you would have had a little bit more intensity about saying, I'm not paying $1 for water because it's going to kill my grandkids. That's what we're talking about here. So, it is now 8:37. We're coming back up on the quarter hour. And I want to open the phone lines. Can I open the phone lines? Oh, I have to do Black Sheep first. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play the Black Sheep interview, and then when we come back, we'll give it the last few minutes of the hour. We will be taking your calls, and you're going to be calling 252-499-0087, so get your dialing fingers ready, and make sure you give us a holler then. But right now, I want to introduce you to the folks over at Black Sheep. They are a phenomenal European bistro. I was corrected. I called them a pizzeria. They are not a pizzeria because they have so many things on their menu that are not pizza, but I think their margarita pie is to die for. I love their food, but I also love their business practices. So I went over there and I got to talk to them, and I wanted to hear a little bit about their thoughts about why they decided to give up plastics and how it's affecting their bottom line, because that's ultimately all you business owners out there. You want to know about the bottom line. Here's what they had to say. Jennifer, roll the tape. What do you call this place?
We like to call it Black Sheep, Beaufort, or Black Sheep Beaufort, and it's just a European bistro is what we try to go by.
To start with, what made you decide to do that? What was your motivation to going green as a business owner?
Well, it's something that's always been near and dear to my heart to try to be environmentally friendly as possible. And it just seemed like this is something, instead of promoting plastics in the ocean is a very big problem, and instead of just giving, it was our chance to do a little bit to stop that, and it's fairly easy. We went with paper straws instead of plastic. We used no styrofoam, and then all of our packaging is biodegradable, all our to-go packaging. On the downside, it is a little bit more expensive. But on the upside, we have people come in just because they see online or something that we are environmentally friendly, that we are part of the Protect the Ocean and the Plastic Ocean Project. We are part of that. And so it's, I think it's, for the cost, it's a trade-off that we're willing to pay. So it's not that big of a deal, and it wasn't a hard decision.
Well, from a seasonal perspective, we're a very seasonal community around here. Counting every dime and every dollar is very, very important. What are the positives and what are the negatives to choosing this as a business decision?
Well, again, the positive is it does bring certain customers they come here because of that, or try us out because of that. The negatives, we do have maybe 20% of the people that do not like the paper straws, and we kind of explain to them that a straw is supposed to last 30 minutes, not 30,000 years, and and usually they come around, and if it gets soggy, we'll give them a new straw. So and we always ask. We don't give out straws to everybody. It's something you ask for. We ask, would you like a straw with that? Because a lot of times they just take it out and throw it away. And I'm trying to get in the habit, when I go out, I'll just ask for no straws or no plastic in mine. So it kind of like gives people an idea that there are people that think about it at other businesses. And there have been other businesses that started doing this as well. I wouldn't say it was because of us, but I think a lot of people are feeling the same way and want to do something. So.
Well, one of the things we've talked about a lot on the show is being, we're really on a very high perch in a lot of ways, that people come here and they see that we're oceanfront residents, and that's something we protect because we're oceanfront residents, and we're an example to the rest of the world. How do you guys feel about taking that kind of independent role, so to speak, and kind of standing out for the whole world?
It's pretty amazing, because one of the negatives is that some people don't like it, or they don't even know that that's an option to have a paper straw. So it's a really great opportunity for us to educate folks that there are alternatives. And the way that I approach it is just like you were saying, that a straw is supposed to last for as long as your drink lasts, and not for a millennial. And it's not supposed to end up in the oceans and in the nose of a turtle. And people are like, wait a minute, what? Tell me about this, and they want to know more information. So it gets a conversation started, and once you start a conversation, then it continues on from not just a meal, but then continuing on. And we do have people come year after, time after time, because of us being environmentally aware, and I think that's great.
Well, I'll give you a mea culpa. That's one of the reasons why we come back here all the time as well. So thank you so much for doing that. Jennifer and I are huge fans of what you're doing here, and not to mention the fact that you're also you also have damn fine pizza. So we totally appreciate that.
Also, the food and drinks are good.
Good food's important.
Yeah.
Good food's incredibly important. But one last question. I'll let you get back to your busy day and whatnot. But in terms of starting the business again, did you have this in mind when you were starting this business? Is this something you built into your plan, or is this something you're adapting as you're going along?
It was something that, like I said, I'm always been try to be as environmentally friendly as possible. And then we started looking into things. I really do not like styrofoam. I do not. So we were looking for alternatives from the beginning. So and then we found the Plastic Ocean Project, and they have done a lot in Wilmington as far as plastic straws. I mean, they physically went out and counted straws year after year, and as I think most of the beachfront restaurants have gotten rid of them, people are out there picking up plastic straws, and that has gone down, like, I don't know the percentage, but it's a very large percentage. So.
Do you feel there's any kind of peer pressure from your customers to say, like, do the to-go cups with styrofoam cups, walking arounds and stuff like that, or how are your customers receiving it for the most part? You think
they can walk around with paper cups and
compostable.
Thank you. They can walk around with compostable containers. I mean, styrofoam's not an option here. So sorry.
Well, amen to that, and thank you for all that you folks are doing to help promote a beautiful country and a beautiful waterfront and a beautiful everything, and thank you for feeding us so well. For The Charted Life, I'm Captain Chris German, and we'll be right back.
Hey there, I bet you thought this was another episode of Sailing Friday, and it's not, okay? The reason it's not is because we are trying to create some new programming for this channel, which will involve all kinds of good people around the world. Currently, we're in discussions with people up in Ontario, we're down in Florida, and then all the way down in Martinique. We have another program we're working on bringing to you. And then we're also bringing you this tiny home, which is going to be broadcast right here in little old Beaufort, North Carolina. And I think there will be me and hopefully a couple other people, and it's going to be fun. But we're going to interview some talent tomorrow, and we're still trying to bring all that together. So that's what's coming on board for the Charted Life TV, and we do want you to stay tuned and catch all these cool programs as we bring them out. We're looking for sponsors, we're looking for talent, we're looking for camera assistants, we're looking for all kinds of good stuff, and of course we're looking for advertisers. So we're bringing the Charted Life TV to you so that you can enjoy the mobile lifestyle wherever you may be. So for the Charted Life, I am Captain Chris German, coming to you from the studios of the Charted Life Television Network, and I thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned to the Charted Life TV. Thank you.
Oh, we're back. Hey, I'm Captain Chris German, and you're coming back to Conversations at the Helm, and this is the best part of the day. We get to hear from you all, and if you want to call, it's 252-499-0087. 252-499-0087 is the number to call, and tell us what you think about the various and sundry topics we have touched on tonight. We've talked about, how businesses are affected by this. We've talked about how consumers are affected by this. We've also talked about, how the world is affected by this, and how our economy around here is going to be affected by this, by all of the sea life that is affected, and how the fishing cultures are going to die, the water quality is going to go to pot, and we are going to be in a tough spot. So we and the Crystal Coast must ban the bag in Beaufort and beyond, which is not to say we're expecting the governments to do this for us, or, we're expecting the Uncle Sam to come in and stomp on everybody's neck. They've done enough of that around here. But what we do want you to do is we want you to give it up in your own homes. If you're going to the McDonald's, say, hey, I don't need the straw. In fact, I don't even need the beverage. Keep the beverage back, okay? Because that beverage is impossible to drink without the straw, first of all. Second of all, it comes with a plastic lid up on top. And third of all, it's sugary, bad drinks for you, and you should be drinking water anyway. I don't want to sound like your mother, but there's plastic. Anything that you do with those beverages is plastic. Those cups don't even biodegrade. So, leave the drink. Forget the drink. Yeah, I know you save a couple of bucks. I actually went to, it's tough to build this gut, this requires work. And I eat like crap sometimes. And so today I went to Burger King and I said, you know what? Keep the drink. I want the value meal. Keep the drink. And they actually knocked some bucks off because I didn't get a drink with it. So I did get the value meal price, but I didn't have to get the drink. And I went back and I got myself my trusty water bottle. I have it right here. See? It is actually right here, and I drink from it the entire time. Yeah, the drink heard around the world. Yeah, me and Mark, what was his name? Oh, wow. I can't believe I can't remember things. I'm losing my mind. Okay, so do you want to call? 252-499-0087. Jason Pope, if you have a signal out there at Cape Lookout, give us a holler and let's talk and tell us what the weather's like out there at Cape Lookout. We'd love to talk to you about that, as we'd love to hear about the plastics that are out there. What kind of things are you seeing in the water out there? You were sailing, I believe, outside today, and that's another thing that the waterkeeper is going to do. Is he actually does a fishing for plastics thing where they'll actually take you out on a charter boat and you'll go fishing for plastics out in the Sargassum out there in the outside the Gulf Stream. So that could be kind of fun, and it could be kind of interesting to see what kind of things you have out there. They'll also, and that's something that's you really need to understand. When you go out there, you're not going to necessarily see a giant, huge pile of trash just floating all over. Most of it is actually subparticle. It's tiny, tiny, tiny little particles that get eaten by tiny, tiny, tiny little fish. And those tiny fish are then eaten by bigger fish. The bigger fish then move up to bigger fish. And through bioaccumulation, we have all kinds of problems. And it's all because of these microplastics. So this is what we need to stop. If we stopped today and we just got rid of all the plastics today, we still would be finding this stuff for the next 150, 200, 300 years until it all wound up down in Mariana's Trench. So what we first have to do is we have to stop it. And then once we stop it, then we can start remediating it and start bringing it in. There are some glimmers on the horizon. This isn't all negative stuff. There's the chances that there's some microbes out there that are now eating these things, and they are reducing them and getting rid of them. That's it's going to take a lot of evolution to find something that's going to be able to eat all of these things and make them get out of the ocean with the volume that's out there. Did you hear what the harbor master said? I know I could have fixed the volume a little bit, but by the year 2050, I think is what he said, there's supposed to be more plastics in the ocean than fish. Can you eat plastic? Do you want to eat plastic? I don't want to eat plastic. Oh, the waterkeeper. What did I say?
Harbor master.
I said the harbor master. Well, I'm sorry. I'm from Connecticut. What do you expect out of me? Well, in any case, that is what is going on, and that's why we are doing Ban the Bag in Beaufort, and we are trying to stop people from using these single-use plastics. And so we have made a commitment in our life to make a conscious decision to stop using single-use plastics. And so we buy these more expensive things, and we're spending money in ways that we can't afford to, but it's better for the environment. I don't have any kids. This isn't about my kids. This is about your kids. This is about your family's grandkids. This is about the generations to come. And we need to protect our environment to save these children. That's what it's all about. You say you love your kids, then stop using plastic, because they're the ones that are going to have to clean up the mess. Now, let's get back to that little old thing we were talking about donating. Okay, I got onto the website today, and I put a button up there. It is through PayPal. You can make a contribution. Now, a lot of people have said, how can I help support Ban the Bag in Beaufort? And yes, we need you to show up. We need you to make a commitment in your life to stop using single-use plastics. But would love to get the resources together to convince other people. And that's going to take us hitting the road and talking to people and making this thing a global effort. And we need your help to do so. So if you'd like to contribute, any dollar, $2, $3, anything helps. But the tens and the zeros after that really makes it very, very helpful for us. And so for anything $10 and up, we're going to give you a Ban the Bag and beyond, Ban the Bag in Beaufort and beyond. And it's also got our website on there, thechartedlife.net. You can get on there and you can make the contribution out there. Jennifer, can you throw that link up there? Oh, you already have it up there. Okay, good. I don't see everything all the time. www.thechartedlife.net/ban the bag is the number to call. You can also send us a check. If you'd like to send us a check, our address is 209, Suite 5B, 209 North 35th Street, Morehead City, North Carolina, 28557. We definitely take checks. If you want to use a credit card, you can use the website. But if you want to write a check, it's totally tax deductible. We are a 501c3. We're being fiscally sponsored by Connecticut Community Voting, which is a registered charity, and we can get you a tax deduction for it. If you really need a tax deduction, we can make that happen. But if you just want to support the efforts and throw a couple bucks in the pot, we could use that too. So please. And right now, we are still taking your calls because we've got exactly 6 minutes left till the top of the hour. So we got at least a couple minutes for a phone call. So 252-499-0087 is the number to call. That is the number if you would like to call. We've got at least now a minute and a half or so. But we'd love to talk to you. So If you don't want to call, if you just want to send an email or a message, the info@thechartedlife.net is the email to send it to. Or you can call into our phone afterwards and pledge how much you want to put in. And that number is 252-617-3792. And again, go to our website at Ban the Bag and Beaufort. www.thechartedlife.net, ban the bag, and you can make your contributions there. It's completely safe, it's completely secure, it's completely credit card, it's all that good stuff. And so we really could use your help. So please make your contributions today. Thank you so much for watching this show. I do hope you learned something about the plastics pollution problem. We've talked to some wonderful people, and we've seen some of the people are doing in our community, not least of which Black Sheep and the Subtropic Sub Shop. Thank you, and all the other businesses. I believe there's 239 ocean-friendly or recognized businesses in the area here, as determined by the Plastic Ocean Project out of Wilmington. So if you do get into a restaurant like Yanni's, I meant to get over to Yanni's, I meant to get over to Beaufort Pet Provisions. They are both working to be plastic free. They are really, really making a commitment to this. So if you get in there and you notice it, thank your server and say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing, because your efforts are helping our world be a better place. So make sure you stop in and thank your server if you find your server is doing the right thing. If they're just dropping the straws on the table too, though, maybe you can politely ask them and say, hey, could you not just drop the straws? I'm a non-straw kind of person. Yes, you got to stick your jaw out like that, and you have to take on the accent. I'm a non-straw person. You don't have to be that, but I'm just having a little fun. But I would suggest that you give up on the straw, and you give up on the plastic wrap, and you give up on the drink containers, and please do not buy those tiny little water bottles. Get the big water bottles and get everybody one of these in your family. If somebody doesn't have a reusable container in their family, get with the times, folks. Come on now. There's lots of alternatives. There's lots of alternatives to plastic wraps. We have the beeswax wraps, which we have for sale on our website. We have all of these products, what are listed on our website under the OG shop. If you're looking for a source for these things, Amazon sells them, and you can get them through our website. There's lots of great ideas out there. There's the glass straws. I can't really do the metal straws because they hurt my teeth, but the glass straws are out there, and so you can use glass or metal straws. They also have bamboo foodware, so that you can have bamboo forks and spoons and bring them with you someplace, so you're not going to have to use the plastic utensils. There is obviously the water bottles. They come in all shapes and sizes, and the reusable ones. You're not supposed to use those other recyclables because they get warmer and the BPA comes out of them, and strange things are going to be happening to your female children, so you don't want to do that. Other things that are out there is, just so many things. The plastic bags, the biodegradable, actually, you should use compostable trash bags, not biodegradable. There's a difference. Do you know what the difference is? I'll tell you. Compostable bags can be put into your backyard compost pile, and they will break down sooner rather than later. Biodegradable bags, they don't know when they're going to break down. Eventually they'll break down, but they need specific conditions in order to biodegrade. So they have proven that certain biodegradable bags, they're buried underground for 6-8 months. Nothing happens to them. They're down there 2-3 years. Nothing happens to them. As soon as they bring them up and the sun hits them, then they have a degradation. So they're compostable versus biodegradable. You really need to know what you're doing, and we're trying to inform people as much as possible. We're trying to be a source for good so that you can understand all these things. So I don't know what more I could tell you. If you're not going to call in, I can't force you to. And if you're not going to make your contributions at Ban the Bag beyond on our website, I can't force you to. But I also can't tell you how much I do appreciate you watching. That is the key here, is we're trying to get our viewers, we're trying to get everybody together. This is a lifestyle that we're working towards. The Charted Life is all about living clean, living deliberately, and of course, living sustainably, which means getting rid of the plastics. So I'm getting the wind 'em up sign for my wife. Thank you so much for Jennifer, for doing what you do over there. And thank you to Black Sheep. Thank you to Tropic Subs. And thank you to the Waterkeeper and to Rebecca at the Waterkeeper's office. Sorry we didn't get you on camera. And the good folks at the aquarium. That's all I got for this week. Conversations at the Helm will be rebroadcast on Sunday. Jennifer, take us home.
the store routine. Gotta catch the train at 8:15. Back at 9 off to bed and then get up.